This is a burke bar. These things are essentially a massive pry bar that has the potential to get a whole lot of work done. About 5 years ago, the Essential Craftsman on YouTube built one of these things, and ever since that video I knew that I would make one of these. In this video you'll get to see just how challenging it was for me to make this thing with the lack of tools, knowledge, resources. You get to see a few creative solutions. Today you'll get to see how one man got it done, got it built at home. All it took was a little bit of ingenuity, a little bit of willpower, and a whole lot of work. So I'm at the junkyard here trying to find high carbon steel from some old leaf springs that is required to make the prying bit of this burke bar. It's like about 3 inches there. Bottom seems to be well over 1/2 inch.
Sir, you can't have the grinder in.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I thought it was just no torches.
No torches, grinders, cut-off wheels, nothing that'll create a spark.
No sparks. Alright, I'm sorry about that. I did not know that.
Hey, how's it going, boss?
Hey, good. How you doing, bud?
Hey, you're the gentleman that has the grinder?
Yeah.
All right, I'll put it up front so that way you just don't use it at all.
That's fine. I'll just leave.
Okay.
I mean, he told me not to use it, and then I'm sitting here struggling. I'm obviously not going to use it anymore.
Right,
A little bit ridiculous, but I understand. You know, it is what it is. After having no luck with that fiasco, I figured I would try my luck at the only local blacksmith shop I could find. So I just left the junkyard, and I pulled up here, and it looks like, to me, it is kind of abandoned. I see a house down here. Kind of looks like this was their business. You see I'm at Sunrise Fords here in Rustburg, Virginia. Call them.
Please leave your message for 434.
That ain't good. Since we're here, just to relieve curiosity for the future, I suppose I'll go up here and knock on the door. No answer. I don't know if this place is abandoned. I guess, I don't know, this man may be to a retirement age or something like that. Can't get around, I'm not sure. But either way, the business is still active online, and I mean, there's a sign right out front of the shop there off the highway. Alright, so I just got to the local steel yard here. Get some 1x2 inch rectangular tube steel, 1/8 inch wall. We're gonna see if they'll cut it for us. If not, we're gonna have to take it past the gate and cut it with our angle grinder, which is no big deal. I just wanna see what they want me to do. So I'm gonna pick this up and see what's gonna happen. My boy back there at the saw, he hooked me up. We didn't have to bust the grinder out. He cut it. You know, I shook his hand with the $10 bill, told him a 6-pack was on me on this Friday. But we got the steel for the handle, and I think my buddy has some leaf springs for me that are 3 inches wide and over a 1/2 inch thick. And if he has them, if he pulls through, we're gonna continue to look for some blacksmithing work. It might not be like a blacksmithing setup. I might have to use the oxyacetylene and a vise to normalize and shape this thing and harden it. But I'm not gonna cut any corners, because this is gonna be a tool that I can use for the rest of my life. By the way, 50 miles an hour in a 60 zone, left lane clogged as far as the eye can see. Is that just a Virginia thing, or is that across the country? Well, I have found it basically impossible to find a blacksmith in 2024 without having to drive several hours. I think this is the route I'm gonna be taking. It's 5160 steel, 1/2 inch thick, 3.5 wide, 12 inches long, which is pretty much exactly what we need. I could do a little bit longer on the length, but I think this will be fine. So I'm gonna get started grinding the taper that's required. It's about 1.5 inches or 2 inches is what I'm gonna do from the end here. and I'm gonna try to get it about even. You know, the reason for that taper is so it narrows down to almost a sharp point, so you can get in between some boards or whatever you're trying to pry. Oh. Quarter cable. She's done had enough. Oh, that's hilarious. Let's get the DeWalt out here. So I got my cordless DeWalt here. I got this blade on here. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. It's supposed to be a lifetime cutting or grinding disc. It's got dog bones on it. I think that's the brand of it. It's about $100. We'll give it a shot. Got that in there pretty good. You can see it's not quite as far as I would have liked it to be, but it is quite an even taper on both sides. So this is an oxyacetylene torch. It's what I'm going to be using to heat that metal up. I've got a cutting tip on here, a cutting body. I have a rosebud, but the acetylene tank is too small. They won't sell you an acetylene tank that's bigger than this. You have to lease it. So I'm going to be using the cutting tip. And you know, I hadn't had one of these things for a long time. I've wanted one. It's very convenient because you don't need power and you can heat metal up, cut through couple-inch thick steel. So I use this project as an excuse to get this set up. That torch is just not ideal to do the type of metalwork I'm trying to do here. So I found this little forge on Amazon. I'll give a shot. I also picked up this anvil on Facebook Marketplace. I found myself needing one pretty often, so this will be a nice addition for my projects. Alright, so that oxyacetylene torch, it was working fine to bend this, but my acetylene tank is just too small. I used a lot of gas just getting this hot enough to bend, and then if you don't have it perfect, the amount of time that it took me and the amount of gas that it took me to reheat this to get it to the point where I could bend it again is really not worth it. So I went on Amazon, bought this $120 little mini forge. It's a dual burner. We'll see how it works. Should be ready to fire up. I'm gonna throw this in here, see if I can get it red hot to get that angle a little bit better. I think that's a little too much of an angle, but if I'm able to get it red hot, then I'll give it a couple of whacks on the anvil, see if I can get this bend perfect. All right, I have that bit pretty much bent and shaped exactly how I want it to. So the next step is for me to harden that bit. It's 5160, so it is oil hardenable steel. I'm gonna heat it up in the forge over there to a non-magnetic, probably, I don't know, medium orange color. I'm just gonna try to hit non-magnetic, and then I have a bucket of used eco-environmentally friendly quenching oil there. But I'm gonna weld, I don't think I have any rebar. I'm gonna weld a piece of something to that bit right now. That way when I dunk it in here, if there's a big flame ball, it's not gonna kill me. All right, so for my first quench, I think that went pretty well overall. I don't know if this thing cooled down quite quick enough. I have a file here. This file should skate across and not try to dig in if I got this thing hard enough. All right, that's hard steel. So run a little bit of a temper on it. Bring it back down. Turn it into more of a spring. Right now this thing's extremely brittle. I'll just temper it back with the acetylene torch, and then I'll weld a handle onto it, and we'll have a burke bar. All right, so I'm just gonna cut this off a little bit shorter. Take a wire wheel to it to clean the metal up. That way I can see the colors run when we start to temper it. We're going for a full royal blue. Be a good spring steel right there. So I'm gonna chop it off, wire wheel it, get to tempering. All right, you can see that blue coming. See that? It's almost a purple right there. It's gonna, that's literally gonna run down. That color is gonna creep down this material. I want it to happen slow. I don't want to heat it too much, but that's the color I want to this whole piece. So I'm just gonna take it slow. See if I can get it to run down. See the straws coming in, light yellow, very light yellow. Slowly bring that down. Kind of get some heat in this whole piece here. And then just slowly but surely bring that color down. See, we have full blue up here. See some purple there, some browns that goes to straw. What this is doing is pretty much softening this metal. When we quenched it in that oil, it made this so hard that it's unusable as a tool. See, that's a perfect example of straw right there now. Just cool a little bit, don't take it too fast, see what it wants to do. Straw just ran all the way down out of nowhere. Might have to slow it up a little bit with that. I got a bucket of water here. See, we have worked that blue and purple all the way down. It gets thinner at that taper here, so I'm gonna lay off on the heat and kind of sit and watch. Full royal blue. Hope you guys can see that. That's just about perfect right there. That whole piece is royal blue. I have a little bit of purple running into the tip there. That's fine. Well, here it is all complete, and was it worth it? That's a question you'll have to ask yourself if you're thinking about making one of these, but in my opinion, this is something that money can't buy today. You won't be able to find the quality that you can produce with something like this in today's market. This is something that you could use daily, leave outside in the back of a truck for years, and completely neglect, and you would still be able to pass it down to your children as a usable tool to get work done, make money, and complete a job. There was a lot of struggles making this, but I learned a lot, acquired a few tools. If I had to do it over, I would make it again. I highly recommend making something like this, even if it's not this burke bar to this scale. Just a usable tool that you made that you can appreciate, because that in itself has a lot of value.